Okay. Okay, so we can finally get started. Um, so today I was gonna focus on gas exchange and circulation, and specifically the physical process parts of it. Are you guys still able to hear me? Okay.
Yes. Yep.
You got in a bit quiet. I'm not sure why. Okay, it's probably fine. So to start off, I just wanted you guys to start thinking about these questions. So have a think, and then we'll come back and chat about it.
Check this is a parasite for hurt. Parasite kills larger. Cutaneous breathing is better for high levels. Cutaneous. What does cutaneous mean again?
So cutaneous breathing, does Jess remember maybe? Can she still hear us?
No, I don't.
Okay. So cutaneous breathing meant breathing through the skin.
Okay. It's below then.
Maybe you could remember that in terms of like cuticles, like the outside of something.
Okay, yeah.
Do you guys feel like you have an answer for each of these questions yet?
Yes.
Okay. So for the first one, tracheal systems are better suited for large or small organisms.
I was gonna say large.
Yeah.
So do you guys remember what tracheal systems are?
Like lungs?
Um, that's an example. Um, so do you remember when we were talking about we were going through the different organisms and what type of systems they use for
Insects have tracheal systems, right?
ventilation? Tracheal systems were related to which type of organisms? Do you remember?
Insects?
Yeah, insects.
I think.
So what do
Okay.
insects? Do you remember the picture from the Nature Boy slides? What do insects have going through their bodies?
Trachea.
So yeah, so they have a sort of system of tubes. Maybe you can remember that in terms of trachea starts with T and then tube starts with T. So they have these tubules going through their bodies, and they rely on diffusion of the gas from the tubule to the rest of the cells outside of the tubule. Um, so if they're relying on diffusion, is that gonna work better if there's a lot of space to diffuse over or a little space?
Small, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah,
small.
small. So it would make more sense to have tracheal systems for smaller organisms. So what about the next question? The surface
It's
area
large,
of gills is larger or smaller than the rest of the body?
larger
Yeah, I was gonna say larger as well.
Why'd you say larger?
because it's like the magnitude is much higher. It's like 3 times in like I think yeah, even we have like 3 times like it just branches off and then there's folds and stuff in some organisms.
So why would it make sense for it to be so if it were smaller and you were doing gill breathing, what would be the problem with that? Think about maybe question 3 a bit. So if you weren't doing gill breathing, maybe another way you could breathe is through the skin, right?
Yeah, but then you need to be
So,
small for that to happen.
um, yeah, that could be. So, so what would happen if your gills were really small? Like, let's say that you had 1 centimeter squared of gill area, and then a
Yeah,
100 centimeters squared of body area. Like, which one, if you want to get a lot of oxygen in, would you pick the 1 centimeter squared or the
no,
100 centimeters squared?
you would go for the 100 centimeter square. You would breathe through
Yeah,
your
you want
skin.
to maximize the surface area. So then if you're doing gill breathing, then the gills have to be bigger than the rest of the body in order for that to make sense.
Yeah,
Because otherwise you can just use your skin on the rest of your body.
yeah,
Is this making sense?
yes.
Okay. So last question. If you're breathing through your skin, is that better for a high or a low surface area to volume ratio?
Low.
Low.
So what do you want more of? You want more volume or more surface area?
Not more surface area.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want more
Agreed.
surface area. So that would be a high surface area to volume ratio. Could you explain why you want more surface area?
Because the more surface area, the more you can diffuse oxygen through your skin.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. So it's through that surface area of your body that the oxygen's coming in. If you're breathing through the skin, you're breathing through that surface area. So you want to maximize that compared to the volume, which is where it needs to travel through once it's inside the body. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot that I put the answers here. Okay. So we're gonna start off with gas exchange. And do you guys remember this equation?
Yes.
So do you want to tell me what each of the letters stands for?
A is the surface area.
Yeah,
P2, P1 is partial pressure.
yeah,
K
the
is
difference.
constant. And D, um, distance?
Uh, yeah, I believe so. So the distance that it's going to have to travel. Yeah. Okay, perfect. Um, so let's start off with gills. And what's so great about gills? Like we just discussed this. So think about in the starter. What's the big benefit of having gills? If you
Okay,
don't
so
have a lot of oxygen, kind of small.
there's a lot of folds and stuff in it, and then there's a villi, microvilli, so like yeah, you can easily get
Something like
oxygen from
really,
the
really
water.
simple. What's the benefit of gills? Like, what's the point of if you have a small surface area, but you want to get a lot of oxygen in? Why would you have gills? What are they gonna
Also, you
do for
can
your
get more
surface?
oxygen rather than using your skin.
Yeah, so gills can be really big, and once you open them, they can maximize your surface area. So you get like a really large surface area. So I'd say that's the big benefit to gills. Oh wait, sorry. Oh no. Okay, you got a hint for that question. So what's the problem? Remember, Dr. Nelson was saying if you took a fish and you put it on land, like what would happen? Why would its gills be useless on land?
Because they
You're gonna
need to.
have water loss.
Yeah, water loss is a problem. But
You
what
need
what
to
would happen to
constantly
its
move
gills?
through the
Would its
water.
gills still be able to um sort of stay open and wide like that?
Oh, the partial pressure.
So I'm gonna show you guys the hint.
Oh, gravity.
Yeah, so what does gravity do?
It closes it.
Yeah, so it would like pull the gills down, it would make them sag down. They wouldn't be able to stand up and have a big surface area. They would sort of flap down and then all of that surface area would be gone. So that would be the problem for having it on land. So then why do fish need or let's start with why do fish have them then if if gills are gonna like flap down because of gravity? What's so
Because they're
special
in
about them?
water.
Yeah, the water. So the water gives them buoyancy and it keeps the gills open. Because there's you don't just have the like force of gravity pulling it down, you have the buoyancy from the water pushing it up, so then
Yeah.
it makes it easier to stay open. So then why do fish need gills? What's different about water compared to air? So
Um,
what are we doing when we're what's the point of breathing? Like what are we trying to get into our bodies?
oxygen.
Yeah, oxygen. So let's think of water compared to air.
Oh, there's more oxygen in air than water.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this difference in partial pressures is going to be smaller. So the point of gills is to maximize this surface area, this A, because the delta P is going to be smaller. The P2 minus P1 is going to be smaller because the partial pressure of oxygen is lower in water. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Well, that's funny because of duck buoyancy. I don't know. Yeah, last question. So do you guys remember the counter current exchange that Dr. Nelson was talking about?
No.
Um, so I'm just gonna show you a picture then. What countercurrent
Oh, okay.
exchanges is that the water flows in one direction and then the blood flows in the other direction.
Okay. I remember this.
Do you remember why that might be happening? Like, what's the point of that?
Yeah, so the water brings in the oxygen and takes out the like the carbon dioxide from the other side.
Why is it good to have them? Why can't they just both flow in the same direction? Like, why
If
would you
they're
need
flowing
one
the
for
same
the other?
direction, then that wouldn't happen.
Um, it wouldn't happen to like as efficiently. You're right. Yeah. Um, do you remember why? Maybe let's start
Because
with, so how much oxygen do you think is in this water at the start? Wait, can I draw on this? Oop. Okay, so over here at the beginning, is there gonna be a lot of oxygen in the water or little oxygen?
oh, little oxygen.
So what's the blood doing throughout here with the water? Is the oxygen going into or out of the blood here in this region?
It's going out of it?
Um, so are you looking to get blood
No,
into
it's
or
going into it. Never mind.
yeah, yeah. So the oxygen is gonna go into the blood. Sorry, maybe the arrows are confusing. Um, so you're trying to get the oxygen into the blood. So before the water's interacted with the blood, is there gonna be a lot or a little oxygen in it?
Beforehand, there's gonna be little.
So before you've gotten the oxygen into the blood
Yeah,
from the water, so before you've taken the oxygen from the water and put it in the blood, is the
yeah.
water gonna have more oxygen here
Oh,
or
the
here?
water. Okay, the water's
Yeah,
gonna have
water.
a lot of oxygen.
Yeah, so it has a lot of oxygen here and little oxygen there. So yeah, yeah. So it has lots of oxygen here and little oxygen there. What about the blood? You started saying. So the blood over here, is it gonna have a lot or little oxygen?
A lot.
So before it's taken it from the right, because the blood starts here and then it goes there. So before the blood's interacted with the water over here, is it gonna have a little or a lot of oxygen?
Little.
Yeah, little, yeah. And then over there, right after it's interacted with the water. So
Oh,
after the
then
blood's
you have a lot.
yeah, then it would have a lot of oxygen. So you see, when the water has a lot of oxygen, the blood also has a lot of oxygen. And when the water has little oxygen, the blood also has little oxygen. So what that means is that this P2 minus P1, the difference in partial pressure of the oxygen in the water and in the blood, is going to stay pretty much the same, so that the diffusion rate doesn't change. It keeps like, it stays efficient throughout the whole um, gill lamellae. So if we think about, let's pretend that the blood was also going in this direction. Can you see my arrow clearly?
Yes.
Okay. So if the blood was also going in this direction, we would have a lot of oxygen here in the water, but in the blood, if it starts here before it's interacting with the water here, would it have a lot or little oxygen?
A lot.
So maybe this is confusing. I'm gonna cross it out. This is before the blood interacts with the water. Does it have a lot or a little oxygen before it's taken oxygen from
A
the water?
little. A
Yeah,
little.
so here it would have a little. Um, whoop, okay. So then P2 minus P1, that would be really big, right? If there's a lot of oxygen here and a little oxygen there, that would be really big.
Yeah.
What about here then? If the water, I mean, yeah, so after the water is interacted with the blood, is there going to be a lot or little oxygen in the blood?
A
So
lot.
after, yeah, so there's going to be a lot here. So what that means is, see now, if we say P2 minus P1, P2 is this water, right? Because we want it to go in this direction, from the water to the blood. So P2 is this little oxygen in the water, and P1 is this lot of oxygen in the blood. So then this goes down, so the rate of diffusion go down, or it might even be negative. So it might even be, or this wouldn't really happen in real life, because it wouldn't go past. So once the oxygen's been like, you can think of it in terms of this, like when the water is giving away its oxygen to the blood, when the level of oxygen in the blood and the water start to become the same, the water's not going to want to give that much oxygen away anymore. So that's why we want to have it so that when the water is willing to give away its oxygen, the blood has a lot of oxygen. And then when it's less willing to give it away, the blood has little oxygen, so that makes it more willing to give it away. That's one way to think of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so do you guys remember your ideal gas laws from chemistry?
PVT.
Yeah, PVT stuff, yeah. So
Yeah.
I'm just gonna ask for, oh no, wait, I was just gonna ask for, so you already saw the answer, but I was just gonna ask for the relationship between pressure and volume. So if pressure
Their
goes up, does volume
volume goes
go
down.
down? Yeah, volume goes down. So there is an inverse proportionality there. So pressure and volume are inversely proportional. Um, wait, I'm just gonna check my reference. Oh, okay. Yeah, so we said like if oh the arrows moved. Yeah, if volume goes up, then is the pressure gonna go up or down?
Down.
Down, yeah. Hmm, the arrows moved. Um, so we can. What am I doing? Oh, so do you guys remember this term negative pressure breathing?
No.
So if you try right now, like breathe in, put your hand on your over your diaphragm and like breathe in, like under your chest and over your stomach a bit.
Yeah.
Breathe in. So what happened? Did you feel what happened with your hand?
It went outwards.
Yeah, so when you breathe in, what's happening to the volume of your lungs? Is it getting bigger or smaller?
It's increasing.
Yeah, it's increasing. So we're increasing the volume, so the volume's going up, and then the pressure of the lungs goes down, right?
Yeah.
So then the partial pressures, if the total pressure is going down, the partial pressures of all of the gases in the lungs is also going down, right?
Yeah.
So this P1 is the pressure of the lungs, that's going down. The pressure of the air outside, that stays the same. But if this goes down and that stays the same, then this gets bigger, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so then the rate of diffusion increases. You can try to kind of relate these two concepts in terms of that makes the air flow to your lungs more when you increase the volume of your lungs, right? So that's
Yeah.
what negative pressure breathing is. You decrease the pressure by increasing the volume, but you decrease the pressure in order to get the air to flow in. Yeah. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to circulation. Um, we have time. So if we think of the same sort of thing with your blood pressure, and we think of, okay, so when the blood vessels are contracted, so does that mean that the volume's getting smaller or bigger if they contract?
Smaller.
Yeah, smaller. So if V goes down, what's gonna happen to P?
Pressure's gonna increase.
Yeah. So the narrower blood vessels have higher pressure, and that's called. Oh, I already showed you the term. Do you remember what that's called?
Negative blood pressure. No.
Um, so for
No.
blood pressure, if what did we say? We said the volume goes down when it's contracted, and blood pressure goes up. If
Yeah.
high pressure, do you remember the term systolic and diastolic?
Yes.
Which one's for high pressure?
Ah, I don't remember which one's for which.
It's okay, this is sort of memorization, but systolic's for high pressure.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I'm not sure how you want to remember that. Do you? So let's go to diastolic then. So if it, oh no, the arrows. Okay. So then if it's relaxed, the volume is increasing or decreasing.
Increasing.
Volume's increasing.
So then the pressure would be decreasing, right?
Yes.
And then that would be called the other one, so diastolic.
Diastolic.
You just quickly to the next. So I don't know how. Do you guys have a suggestion for how you want to remember this? That diastolic is relaxed and systolic is contracted.
Sure. When you die, you become relaxed. You can't
Oh,
control
okay.
yourself.
Yeah. Okay, I like that. Okay, so this is
I won't
So you
forget
have
that.
to when you're dead. So then you become relaxed. And then systolic is contracted, so you're stressed out. High pressure and low pressure
Yep.
when you're dead because there's nothing to do anymore. Just like when you're self-isolating, there's nothing to do anymore
Yes.
except for these online sessions.
Yes.
So on a blood pressure machine, if you take your blood pressure, you have the systolic pressure and the diastolic pressure. So which one's going to be the bigger number?
Um, Systolic,
Yeah, systolic. Why do you say that?
because they're usually contracted.
Yeah, they're always contracted. So they have the so systolic just means the one that's higher pressure, and
Okay.
it has to be the bigger number. Yeah, well done. Okay, so do you guys remember that we were talking about how the width of a blood vessel will affect how fast fluid moves through that vessel?
Yes.
So what was the relationship there? If we have a narrower vessel, so let's say
We'll
we
go
have this sort
faster.
of shape. Here we have a low um, cross-sectional area, right? And
Yeah.
here we have a high cross-sectional area.
Yup.
So is the pressure gonna be higher? Remember, so the if we take the same distance in this direction, we take the volume here and the same distance in this direction. Let me just extend this. Which one's gonna have the bigger volume? The one with the higher cross-sectional area or the lower cross-sectional area?
Volume with the higher cross-sectional area.
Yeah, so this one would have a bigger volume. So then which one would have the bigger pressure then?
The one with the word.
Yeah, lower volume, bigger pressure because pressure is inversely related to volume. So do you remember where is it gonna move faster? Over here. So let's say that we had pretend that we had like two people walking, or no, not two people walking. Let's say they're like really tiny people. Yeah, let's say they're so here they're trying to they want to get to this side, and let's say that when they're over here, only one person can fit through.
Yeah.
You see my people? So what's gonna happen here if two people can fit through, and then here only one person can fit through? Let's say that they wanna um let's say that we want the rate of people passing through to stay the same. Is this making sense?
Yes. So
Then
far.
what's gonna have to happen here when only one person can fit in the cross-sectional area? Is the person gonna what's gonna happen to their speed if they can both fit through here, and then only one person can fit through here? What's gonna happen to that person's speed?
They're gonna
Slow
start pushing it there, so like it'll go faster.
Yeah, they go faster to get the other person through, right? So over here they have to go faster. So then when the pressure goes up, because this was the area with the higher pressure, remember? So if the pressure goes up, then the fluid velocity, so the speed of the people, has to go up, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So here what I'm saying is pressure is related to velocity then, proportional to velocity. This is a bumpy shape, I don't know what that is. And it's inversely related to volume. So then it's easier to see on a drawing the volume than it is to see the pressure, right? So you can think of the volume's going to be inversely related to the velocity. Or you can even think of it in terms of instead of volume, you can think of area, maybe cross-sectional area, and then just keep the length the same, then the volume will be the increasing if you increase the
Yeah.
cross-sectional area. Is this making sense? So that's sort of
Yeah.
what we did just there. So I want you to use that and then tell me on this diagram where it's going to move the fastest, the fluid.
V2, P2, wherever
Yeah,
that area.
so right here in the middle. Okay, now look at this diagram. And so so if we just take the difference between these capillaries and this artery,
Yes.
where do you think, how would you be, what would you use to determine where it moves faster?
The volume of each tube. The capillaries are smaller, so I guess it would move faster in the capillaries.
Would you use the cross-sectional area of each? So let's say that we have two people, or so we have like a bunch of people, tiny people fitting in here. What are they gonna do? So let's say that only one person can fit in each
Yeah.
capillary, capillary. Sorry. So what are they gonna do? Are they all gonna kind of like stand in single file and then walk through this capillary, or are they gonna? What are they gonna do?
They're gonna start pushing each other, but they will go single file.
All of them will go single file down this capillary, or
No, different.
okay, so let's try that again. People going are you
Yeah.
understanding this?
Kind of. You're kind of.
But you can hear it?
Yeah.
Um, I'm sorry. Okay, tell me if this makes sense, and then I'll in the chat what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, we have these people spreading out, and they're gonna take different capillaries. Um, so is it fair to look at, like, let's say that we're comparing this arteriole where they all fit in with these capillaries? Is it fair to just take the cross-sectional area of one capillary and compare that to the cross-sectional area of the arteriole if they're
No.
spreading out?
No.
No, so what are we gonna do here?
Add the total cross-sectional volume
Yeah,
or section area?
so we want to take the cross-sectional area of all of the capillaries and add it up. So let's say that it turned out that the cross-sectional area here is higher than the cross-sectional area of this arteriole. If we take the total, then
Yeah.
where would it move faster?
In the arterial.
Yeah, it would move faster here. Now can I undo the drawing somehow? Is there an
I think
eraser?
you can raise
There is
that.
an eraser. Oh, it worked. Okay. Now let's compare the artery to the vein. So the arteries have these thick walls and the veins have these thin walls. So do you guys remember the term lumen?
Lumen. I don't remember what it means, but I've heard it
So
before.
lumen refers to this hole in the middle of something.
Okay.
The lumen is this inside the hole in the middle.
Okay.
So which one has the bigger lumen?
The vein.
Yeah, the vein. So which one is the fluid going to move faster through?
The artery.
Yeah, the artery. What if I told you, let's say, just for an example, that this area, so the area from the very outside part of the artery was the same as this area, so the same thing for the vein. Then which one would it move faster through?
Was the same at what area? Your drawing is lagging, so like I can't tell
Sorry,
what you're talking about when you're.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna start it over with just so let's say that this area is the same as this area. Would you rather compare those areas or would you rather compare the lumen?
The
Which
lumen. The
lumen?
lumen.
Why is that?
Because there's also a muscular wall that
Yeah,
takes up.
it it takes up space from the fluids, right? So the people,
Yeah.
they can't walk through the wall. They're gonna walk in the middle.
Yeah.
So that's what we want to compare there. Yeah, perfect. Is Jess still here? Can she still hear me? Okay,
I can
hopefully
still
she
hear
can.
you. I was just
Okay.
sorry gonna write you a message. I actually have to go because I have a math test in 15.
Oh, sorry. Okay, good luck.
But thank you so much, and I'll look out for the recording, and then I'll definitely. Are you doing another one next week?
Yeah, I'm doing another one. I might extend it, just to fit everything in. We'll see how this one
Okay,
goes.
I'll look out for it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Good luck. Okay. So we're gonna talk about open and closed circulatory systems. I'm just gonna see how much time I have time. So do you remember what Dr. Nelson said the main difference between the two was? So
No.
only one of them has capillaries.
Okay.
So which one? Do you remember which one it was?
Closed probably because we have closed circulatory
Yeah.
systems.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good way of remembering it. Also maybe capillary starts with C, closed starts with C. I don't know.
All right.
So that's perfect. So it's closed. Oh no, you can see the side here. Okay, I'm gonna cross it out. Oh no. Okay.
Wait, what was
So
that?
in a closed circulatory system, that was just the answer, and
Oh,
then
okay.
the things over it. In a closed circulatory system, what type of fluid is going through the blood vessels or through the vessels?
Blood?
Yeah, so just blood. And the reason why I'm asking is in an open circulatory system, what else do they have in the vessels?
Water?
Um, so remember that, so we have like a, let's look at a closed circulatory system. So you have a blood vessel here, and then you have like the cells on the outside. Whoop. Okay, I'm gonna try to draw
Yeah.
the cells really quick. And then you have like this fluid outside of these cells, which is also outside of the blood vessels. And what was that fluid called?
I know the name of the fluid. I just can't.
You can't
It's on the
remember.
tip of
That's
my
fine. So it starts with an L. One of the names. One name for it is interstitial fluid, and then the other name for it starts with an L.
No, just tell me.
Yeah, so that fluid is called lymph as well. That's another name for it. And it's
Okay.
found
Yeah.
here, so outside of the cells. And then in a closed circulatory system, you separate it from the blood. So what do you think you would do in an open circulatory system?
It would be mixed together.
Yeah, so you'd have this blood mixed with the lymph or the interstitial fluid. And the name of it actually sounds a bit like blood plus lymph. Do you remember the name?
Blood plus lymph? No.
Um, so the name, think of, so start naming stuff that to do with blood.
Red blood cells, white
Think of
blood cells,
think of something that helps you pick up oxygen.
plasma. Oh, wait,
Ends
what?
in globin.
Oh, hemoglobin.
Yeah, hemoglobin. So that heme prefix has to do with blood a lot.
Hemolymph?
Yeah, hemolymph. Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Oh no, you can see the bottom. Okay, wait, I'm gonna just skip back to hemolymph. So in a pseudocoelomate, do they have an open or a closed circulatory system?
You know, I would pick one of those, but because I saw the answer, I'm gonna go with neither.
Yeah, okay, I'll just go over the answer then. Yeah. So neither. Do you remember why it's neither?
Um, no.
So do you think that acoelomates or eucoelomates have circulatory systems?
Eucoelomates.
Yeah, so what does that suggest about the circulatory system? Where does it come from? So if you don't have a coelom, you don't have a circulatory system.
Yeah. So pseudocoelomate would mean fake, so they don't really have it.
Yeah, so if you think of, so then where does it sound like if you have a coelom, you have a circulatory system. So then the
Yeah,
circulatory system seems to come from,
coelomates.
yeah, so it comes from the coelom, yeah. So it's derived from the coelom.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what you're getting at. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't know you could draw on this. I have another slide that's kind of stupid, but the point of this slide is like let's look at the structure of this heart. So why do you think that we have first, what are these bits called? These curvy bits over here.
Curvy bits over where?
These curvy. So for example, this curvy bit,
Are you drawing on them? I can't. Oh, okay, there. Okay.
this curvy bit. What are they called? It starts with a V.
Valves?
Yeah, valves. Okay, yeah. What do you think the point of those valves are in the heart chambers?
To
In heart chambers?
maintain the pressure?
What did you say?
To maintain the pressure?
Um, not quite. Maybe indirectly, not
And to
quite.
keep the blood from going the opposite way.
What did you say? You said something about the opposite way?
Yeah, to keep it from going the opposite way. To
Yeah,
hold it in
perfect.
place.
Yeah, so we don't want it to be flowing this way through the heart. We want it to be always going this way. So if you
Can
look
you
at
use a
the
different
shapes.
color?
Oh, sorry. Okay. Wait. Purple.
Like yellow maybe, or yeah.
So if you look at the shapes. Wait, can I make it thicker?
I don't know.
I can't. But if you look at the shapes, so you can kind of imagine little arrows being fit in there.
Oh
Because
yeah.
it's forcing the blood, yeah, so it's forcing the blood to go in that direction. So another like cool thing about these valves is like if you have to label a heart, it's really easy to tell like where the blood is going because of these valves. So yeah, it's just to keep everything going in the right direction.
All right.
Mm, So let's try to look at the blood vessels. So what is this big one called? It's always easy to like look out for the big one.
Ah, no. I don't like naming the heart. I don't know any of the names.
Oh, that's okay.
I know
Um,
all the names, but I don't know which one goes where.
Okay, let's try listing the names. I think I can type stuff. Yeah, I can type stuff. So do you remember any of the names? Do you want to tell me some?
There's the valves, and then there's the pulmonary vein. There's a pulmonary artery.
Oh,
There's a
it's
left
freaking
and
color.
right for
Sorry.
both.
Keep going. I'm gonna just change the color.
Okay.
So
There's a left and right for both.
pulmonary vein and
Um,
what? Pulmonary artery.
yeah, the left and right. We have all the different valves. Atrium. I
Just
think there's a
focus
word
on the
before the
blood
atrium.
vessels. We're just gonna talk about the blood vessels.
Okay. Um,
So you got two, the vein and the pulmonary vein and the pulmonary artery.
yeah. I'm thinking about what the one that goes straight down. What's the name for that?
So this big one, I'm just gonna give you this one as a clue, is called the aorta.
Aorta. Okay.
Oh no, I can't click and drag. Okay, I'm just gonna put it here. Aorta. Okay, that works. Do you remember the ones that the last set of vessels that go into the heart, what they're called from the rest of the body? After the aorta goes to the rest of the body, what brings the blood back from the rest of the body?
The vein?
Yeah, it would be a vein. Why do you say it's a vein? So let's look at
Vein
veins and arteries. So the
veins usually
vein,
carry blood to the heart, and
yeah,
arteries take it away.
yeah. So the way that I like to remember that, yeah, would be like vein ends in, so it goes into the heart, and then artery maybe like can think of it in terms of like it sounds like out, or you can think of it in terms of A is like stands for away from the heart. So
Yeah.
veins go into the heart, arteries go out of the heart. So then what about this? Pulmonary means it has to do with the lungs. So
Okay.
these two blood vessels, they're traveling between the heart and the lungs. So the pulmonary vein, does it go into or out of the lungs?
Oh, out of the lungs
Yeah, why do you say out of the lungs? Perfect.
because it's going towards the heart.
Yeah, okay, yeah, perfect. So if it's going into the heart, it must be going out of the lungs. And then the pulmonary artery is the other way around.
Yes.
So this is the aorta, and I'm just gonna tell you the other one. So the aorta takes blood to the rest of the body, and then the vena cava take blood into the heart from. Oh, that's ugly. Can you see it?
Okay. It's
I'm
vena
just gonna
cava.
type out
Yeah.
the name here again.
Maybe move it a little bit up.
I
Okay.
don't
Yeah.
think I can
Never
move
mind.
them, and I'm scared to like type
That's
over
good.
it.
It's
It's okay
fine.
for now. We'll wait. I can clear it and then write them all again. Oh, this is
Mm,
good. So let's test your memory. What's this called?
what is what called?
This one, the big one.
Which one?
So, oh, you can't see when I'm okay. So this,
Oh, okay. Aorta.
yeah, aorta. And what does it do?
It takes the blood out to the lung.
Out to the lung or to the rest of it? So we had these two words, pulmonary vein
Wait, wait.
and pulmonary artery.
No, it's already oxygenated. It would take it to the rest of the body.
Yeah, so the aorta, maybe you can think of it in terms of that's why it's so big. It's responsible for carrying all of that oxygenated blood to the rest of the body, to the entire body.
Yeah.
So the
And it would go
aorta
to
is
the
big
kidneys
because
first, right?
yeah, it's taking that fresh blood to the rest of the body.
All right.
Um, so what about then this one? I said this one is so if this one's taking it to the rest of the body. Which one's taking it from the body? So
The
there are
vena
two blood
cava?
vessels that have arrows going into them. So that's this one and then this one. So do you think it's the red one or the blue one that's taking the blood from the body into the heart?
Oh, the red one?
So let's think of it in terms of so then the aorta, if it's taking the blood to the rest of the body, you want to give the body fresh blood, right? Fresh oxygenated blood.
Yeah.
So the blood that's coming from the body, is it going to be oxygenated or
Oh, okay.
deoxygenated?
It's gonna be deoxygenated, so
Yeah.
it'd be the blue one.
Yeah, so the blue one, right? Because if this one's passing, so this blood that's coming in through here, once it passes through the heart, it goes directly into the aorta. So it has
Yeah.
to be fresh and oxygenated. So if it's that, it can't be that one because we're not going to deliver the blood from the body straight to the body, right? We want it to get to the lungs first and become
Yeah.
oxygenated. So it's going to be this one. These are the what were they called? What was this one called?
Which one?
Started with a V.
Vena cava?
Yeah, vena cava. Um, maybe another way to remember these two words, aorta kind of sounds like artery and vena cava kind of sounds like vein, but
Yeah.
because they don't have the prefix pulmonary, like they don't have that word in front of them, then it's to do with the body instead of to do with the lungs because pulmonary is to do with the lungs.
Okay.
So this is to do with the lungs. Oop, I'm gonna draw. I can't draw lungs. Never mind. Ignore that. We're not gonna try. Oop. So then let's label the rest of them. So this one that's carrying oxygenated blood away from the heart, is it which blood vessel is that going to be? Deoxygenated blood away from the heart.
That would be pulmonary artery.
Yeah, pulmonary artery. How do you know it's pulmonary? If it's carrying deoxygenated blood out,
Then it's going to the lungs.
yeah, it's going to the lungs because it wants to oxygenate that blood
Yeah.
and then return it to the heart.
Yeah.
So how do you know it's the artery and not the pulmonary vein?
Because artery takes it out of the heart.
Yeah, out of the heart. Yeah, perfect. So then these last two, these red ones going in. So the oxygenated blood is coming into the heart. Where's it coming from?
The lungs,
Yeah, the lungs. So what's this blood vessel going to be called?
the pulmonary artery.
The
No,
pulmonary
vein,
artery?
vein, vein,
Okay.
vein, sorry, vein.
Why do you change it to vein?
Oh, I just said artery because it was red, but then I realized it's coming into the heart, so it's vein.
Yeah, the pulmonary vein. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe one last thing, just because it's interesting. Um, so these muscles around the this part. So what's this part called? This part here. This
The
blue
right
part.
atrium?
Which one are so there was an atrium and there was a ventricle. So which one's the atrium and the ventricle?
Ah,
Look at this shape maybe.
I want to say the atrium would be the top circle that you made,
Yeah. So this is the atrium.
and the ventricle is shaped like a V. Okay.
Yeah, the ventricle is shaped like a V. So the ventricle is this part. So this is the ventricle, and this is the atrium over here.
Yeah.
I'm trying to draw
I
that.
remember atrium as a circle because in Metrotown, the mall, there's the atrium court and it's in a circle. So that's how I remember
Okay,
it.
that's a good way to remember it. Yeah. So the atrium is sort of collecting this blood in, right? In both cases, the atrium collects the blood in. So the blood's already going into the heart. The atrium's like storing it there.
Yeah,
Sort of, not really storing it because it's gonna flow right into the ventricle. But
yeah.
sort of just like capturing it. Um, and then what does the ventricle have to do? So the blood just came in. What is the ventricle gonna do with it?
It's gonna change its direction.
Yeah, it's gonna try to send it out, right? It has to push it up there. So if
Yeah.
it's doing all this pushing, why do you think the walls of the ventricle are so thick?
To protect it.
Um, yeah, that could be a reason, but to protect it from
Oh,
the
when
impact
it
of like
that's the part that contracts and relaxes, right?
yeah, so the heart muscles are gonna contract and relax, and you need like a lot of muscle here, right, to get enough power
Yeah,
to change the
yeah,
direction of the flow and to push it back out of
yeah,
the heart, pump it around the entire body, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was pretty much it. And I had a bonus question for you. So we kept seeing this guy. Do you know who this guy is? I just thought this would be funny if you knew.
Nope. I have no clue.
Have you heard of Gravity Falls?
Nope. Never.
Okay, it's this like kids show that I used to watch,
Okay.
and this is called Questiony the question mark, this costume. So I just thought it was funny. I just like I needed something to cover up one of the pictures,
Yeah.
and yeah, I just thought of this, and
The
I thought
answers to
it'd
the
be a fun
question.
bonus
Okay.
question.
I
Yeah,
get
that's
that.
pretty much it. So do you wanna I forgot to ask Jess this before she left, but I wanted to keep doing the like one thing that went well today and one thing to do
Yeah.
for next time.
I
So
can
do you
write
wanna put
on
that
this.
in the chat?
So
Can you do you have access to write on the screen, or do I need to
I
like
think
create
so.
something?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try right now.
Okay, then I'll do like little smiley face in the to do. Oh, it's working, yeah. Okay. Let me draw a smiley face. You can also use text, right?
Right. I forgot about that.
Wait, do you need this part to be the like what went well or what to do next time?
Well, this is what to do.
Oh, what to do?
Yeah.
Okay, ignore my smiley face then.
Okay.
I'll just draw it again.
You should draw to do on the
Oh.
other side. Draw to do on the other side because this is gonna be long.
What? What do you mean?
Draw to do on the other side of the picture. Oh wait, never mind. Never mind. Never mind. Never mind.
Draw a smiley face here. about the slow start today.
No worries.
Um, yeah, hopefully we can get started sooner next time and then get through more content. I was gonna do reproduction and the immune system next time, and
Yeah,
then ecology the time like the week after. But
that's
I'm actually
perfect
not
because I haven't got to those slides
sure
yet.
like schedule wise. What did you say?
That's perfect because I haven't got to the reproduction slides yet.
Okay. Yeah. I might because I'm thinking like I don't know if Tyson wants to try to figure out a final exam review. So then maybe I won't be able to do ecology the week after. So I'll have to maybe like just keep checking Canvas. I might add an extra session if I have to move that last session,
Okay.
or I might extend the next session. So we'll see what happens there.
Okay. Message me on Snap when you do.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, and
Anything went
what?
well today?
Um. Okay, I'm gonna use text this time.
Yeah. Yay. Yeah, I'm also gonna just say really quick. So this isn't for you, Darvesh. Um, thank you to the two people who were here today. If those people weren't here, then you guys wouldn't be able to view this recording if you're watching this after the session, because then I wouldn't have had a session to record. So if you guys are watching this after the session and you're in a different time zone, and it's kind of tricky to attend these sessions, then I'm sorry. If you have any suggestions for times that would work better for you, maybe I can figure something out, just because these sessions are still a little flexible. Um, if you would like to join and the time zones aren't working out, then that's something that I'd like to arrange for you because I want more people in these sessions just so that we make sure that we have stuff going on to be able to post it. Um, if you were able to join and you just didn't, it would be really helpful if you could join the session compared to watching it after, because if we don't have people in the sessions, then I can't really record anything. Um, so for those of you that are thinking of joining a session, please join. It would be really helpful for me and to everyone else who would like to watch them.
Also, I don't want to be the only one every time.
Yeah, we need to have a sort of group discussion sort of thing happening. So poor Dervish was kind of trying to answer all of these questions on his own, and that wasn't really working. So we need more people to join the sessions. If you're watching this, and you were able to join but you didn't, please, please, please join next time. And I'm not gonna promise to record the next session just because like SL is more of a like you need to show up and just do the activities together rather than watching what happened afterwards. Like we want to be having these discussions and everything. So it'd be really helpful to have the people here rather than like watching after, just so that we can have everyone participate properly. Yeah.
What's your YouTube channel again?
I'll just like put it. It's a really stupid name. My brain
Yes,
wasn't working. I was just trying to get something done. Quick, wait, this is all caps.
all caps.
Jenna, I don't know. Can you change the name?
I think
Jenna
you can.
suggests like a different name, so just a different name. I don't really know what I was doing.
Brain Hub Learning.
Yeah, it's stupid. Don't judge me.
I'm not judging you.
Okay. So the heart went well in reproductions next time.
Fun video. Okay.
Yeah, so I'll be uploading this there. And yeah, we're gonna see if this works right now.
Hey,
I'm
you
gonna
got 30 views on that video. Well, 32, which means 32 people should be on that SL chat right now with us.
yeah, if those 32 people are in time zones that are suitable. Yeah, you guys don't leave like one person here alone trying to answer the questions. That's not comfortable for that person. Please, if you're able to join the actual sessions. And join Tyson's sessions too. I haven't checked up with Tyson about how it went yesterday. But if you guys aren't going to Tyson sessions, please go to Tyson sessions. Please go to my sessions. it's not even going anywhere. Literally, like press the buttons on your computers to get here or to get to Tyson sessions, just to make sure that yeah, we still have content for you guys. We're still able to run these sessions online. It's a tricky time, and I get that, but this kind of like we it's just helpful for people to still have resources like SL. Um, especially like I don't know if you guys are bored enough to do like here's free socialization for you. Just please join the session. Yeah. Dervish, is that it? Do you have anything you want to add?
No,
No? Are we done for today?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much.
All right,
Bye.
bye, Jenna. Thank you. See you next week.
Bye. Yeah, see you. Hopefully with more people.
Yes. Max and Alex probably join.